In South Korea, there's this one industry that, believe it or not, quietly dwarfs the country's famous tech and auto sectors combined. But here's the thing. This hidden giant is in serious trouble. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out why it's facing a real moment of truth.
Let's just start with one single number, 476.7 trillion won. That's roughly 350 billion US dollars.
So, what is that staggering number? Well, that's the estimated annual revenue of South Korea's architecture industry. It's an amount that's actually bigger than the country's world-famous automotive and semiconductor sectors put together. I mean, wow. So here's our roadmap. We're going to uncover this hidden giant, take a look at the professionals who build it, and then diagnose the crisis that it's facing. After that, we'll explore the battle for its future during what experts are calling a critical golden time. Okay, first up, Korea's hidden giant. Beyond that absolutely shocking number, what really makes this industry so important? Well, it turns out it's a foundational pillar of the entire national economy. The health of this industry is basically a mirror for the nation's economic growth. And, unlike a lot of other sectors, it provides a massive range of jobs. We're talking 1.64 million people. It's a real powerhouse for domestic prosperity. All right, so at the very heart of this whole industry are these incredibly highly trained professionals known as jeonchuksa. Now, a jeonchuksa isn't just a designer. They are a legally certified professional who is ultimately responsible for a building's integrity and, most importantly, its safety. It's a protected, licensed title. And getting that title, it is a serious journey. We're talking a 5-year university degree, then 3 years of mandatory practical training, and then you have to pass this incredibly tough national exam. It's a minimum 8-year commitment right from day one. But here's the twist. Despite how important it is, and despite the incredible expertise of its people, this giant industry is starting to show some deep and, honestly, pretty dangerous cracks. For one, the workforce is aging, and it's aging fast. The average engineer's age has jumped 13 years in just the last 2 decades. Why? Well, it seems young talent is staying away, often put off by the long hours and safety concerns. The industry has also become totally polarized. Get this, the top 2% of construction firms are taking home 75% of all the revenue. That just squeezes the thousands and thousands of smaller businesses that are really the industry's backbone. And that kind of economic pressure has some truly tragic consequences. It contributes to persistent safety problems, especially on those smaller construction sites. So the big question is, how do you even begin to fix an industry this big? Well, the fight for its future really starts by understanding a fundamental mismatch between the policies on the books and the reality on the ground.
Just think about this for a second. 97% of Korea's 7.3 million buildings are private, and the vast majority of those are small to medium-sized structures.
Yet, and this is the crazy part, for decades, the regulations, the improvement policies, they've all been designed for that tiny little slice of large-scale public projects. It's often a holdover from a totally different era of state-led development. In fact, when you really drill down, many of the government's key initiatives for architectural excellence apply to less than 1% of all buildings. It just leaves the rest of the market completely behind. So, in response, architects aren't just sitting by. They're pushing for reforms that actually address the real industry, represented by organizations like KIRA.
A key battleground is safety supervision. On one hand, the government wants to create this tiny, elite group of supervisors, but architects are arguing, hang on, that could just create a new class of privilege for ex-officials. Instead, they're proposing a broader, separate safety role for all sites. Another big reform being proposed is to mandate fair compensation standards for private projects. The goal here is pretty straightforward. Stop the race to the bottom pricing that can end up compromising both quality and safety. And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most urgent question of all, timing.
You hear experts call this moment the industry's golden time. And that phrase has a real dual meaning. It's both the best chance to get reform right, and maybe, just maybe, the last chance before all these problems become irreversible. The answer to that question is going to determine the future of the buildings we all live and work in, and the stability of a core pillar of the entire nation's economy.